it's gotten to this point now. I have to wear a coat in my own room.
Why are we still here?
And my lighter barely even freaking works anymore. Please, I need heat. I'm actually gonna die in here. Okay, I'm finally going to be reacting to the game theory Minecraft things that I said I was gonna do. You know, let's just react to this. I can't do intros, okay? But I'm pretty sure this is the where like does the videos for him on here. I might forget his name, but I don't know, just for the title alone I can kind of tell that this is that guy. I can just kind of sense it. You know, got that Peter tingle. Yeah, I knew it.
Hi, it's me,
I just knew it.
blah blah blah, and I'm back again. You cannot keep me down, and you cannot keep me away.
I don't really
At this point,
have
you're starting to become
that big
like
of a
my
problem
Pokemon, an
with this guy.
infinite well of content fuel for me. Anyway, this week we're doing an episode on something
I can just kind of tell by like the view difference.
In the shower, because that's where all the best
Kidding, he does
ideas
fine,
come
it's
from,
just-
and it's stupid and awesome, and we're gonna learn things about angular velocity, centripetal force, gravity, and all kinds of fun things that have to do with
I just
it.
came
If
out
by
of
chance
science.
You're a trigonometry teacher and you're trying to show your class that trig is awesome.
Was this my best
instead
choice?
of tedious, this is the video for you. Although I do have to warn you, nightmare fuel like this
I already had the nightmare.
does
Like,
show
2
up.
minutes
In any
ago.
case, the topic I came up with today that is
Well, it wasn't that hard,
stupid
but-
and silly is this. What are the consequences of an incredibly fast day-night cycle in
okay.
Minecraft?
That's
For those of you who don't know,
Yeah,
the
that's
day-night
actually-
cycle in Minecraft is 20
I feel like somebody's
minutes
done this, though.
long. 20 minutes. The designers do this presumably for the same reason lots of games do this, to make it so you can experience the full gamut of daylight and
pretty epic.
nighttime in a single playthrough without having to play for like 12 hours. But it turns out this can have some pretty amazing consequences once you start to dig
I
into
bet.
the implications of what this actually means. And to get to the heart of this, let's start simple. What is a day? You see, we think of a day as being 1/365th of a rotation around the sun, but as CPG Gray points out in this amazing video about leap years, one day is actually one full rotation of the Earth along its central axis. When it makes one full 360-degree rotation, that is one day. It just so happens that the Earth
Whoa.
spins at a rate that's roughly equivalent to 1/365th of a rotation around the sun. It's this rotation that makes the sun appear to rise in the east and set in the west. In reality, the sun is barely moving.
I'm
in
gonna try to
relationship
process
us,
all
but
this,
the
by the way.
rotation of the planet is constantly repositioning us in relationship to it on the planet. So sunrise to sunrise, that is a full day on any planet. It's this connection to spinning speed that makes our problem way more fascinating than it might seem at first glance. All planets have different spinning speeds. The Earth's takes 24 hours, while Jupiter, the largest planet, spins over twice as fast as us at 10
Whoa, what?
hours per 360-degree
Whoa.
rotation. Now, in
Wait,
order to know the
it's-
full consequences
it's like
of a planet
gas
that
mostly,
rotates
right?
once per 20 minutes, we gotta know how big our planet is. Plus, I do have to
I don't
address
know,
something that comes up literally every single freaking
I
time
skipped
I
fifth
do
grade, I
a
don't know,
video
man.
on Minecraft, because people don't bother to read the freaking wiki before making a comment. The Minecraft world size is finite, not infinite, period. There's a world boundary that appears at coordinates 29,999,908.
I didn't know that.
And what always happens when I mention this border is that people go, but Austin, you can clearly see stuff past that. And okay,
Maybe
you know
that's-
what? Screw you.
Whoa,
I'm
another
gonna go
theory.
past
That's
this barrier.
everybody else's world. Like they're all connected, yo. You heard?
And using both teleportation and ender pearls, you can get past the world border. And you know what happens? There's another invisible border
You got to massacre some wolves?
million. And if you could somehow get past this invisible wall, you would immediately fall through the floor into the abyss and you die, because none of these blocks can be interacted with at all. They functionally don't exist. They might as well be the sky painted on the wall at the end of the Truman Show. So stop telling me the Minecraft world is infinite.
Okay, I understand. I'm sorry.
60 million blocks by 60 million blocks, or 3.6 quadrillion square meters, since one
Doesn't
side
seem
of
like there's
the block
anything
is
over
a
there.
meter. Period.
Period.
Using the power of math,
Oh, dear
specifically
God.
the square root of the area divided by
Gotta-
4 pi,
oh, why am I
we
still
can
holding this?
project this surface area onto a sphere and figure out its radius.
Absorb
which
all
will
this
need
information.
for a couple of things. One is to figure out the effects of this rotational
Kinda wish
energy,
his
and
voice was a
another
little
to
louder.
find the density, which will become relevant later. The radius of the Minecraft planet is 16.9
I feel like
million
my brain's
meters,
just
or over
automatically judging it just because it's not like MatPat and so I'm used to.
10,000 miles. For context, this makes the Minecraft world over 2.5 times wider than the Earth. Yikes.
What?
Next, we need to find out the angular velocity of a sphere that's rotating around a central
Dang.
axis that's rotating once every 20 minutes. That's 0.05 rotations per minute, or 31 radians
See,
per minute, which
Minecraft
drops
is even
down to
better than
0.00
our actual freaking world.
0.5235 radians per second. That is our angular velocity.
Babies don't
Now,
need
a
to be
human
killed
being
in
standing
China.
on the surface of the Earth is actually rotating around the axis of the Earth along with it. I think that makes sense, right? With an RPM of 0.0006947 and a radius of 6.3 million meters, a person at the equator is rotating around the center of the Earth at 362 meters per second, or over 1,000 miles per hour.
Oh my freaking
Interestingly enough,
God.
the spinning does create centrifugal force on us as we stand on the Earth, as we're constantly changing velocity. Thankfully, the Earth is much stronger than this force, as even at the equator, where your tangential velocity is at its highest, you will only experience
What, do we just, like, completely
0.0336
annihilate the freaking
meters per
Earth?
second per second
It
force
wasn't?
from centrifugal force, making you feel 0.34% less gravity than you would at the North or South poles, where spin is minimal. This is the same force that allows you to swing a bucket upside down
nice
over
touch.
your head, as long as you're spinning it fast enough. The constant change of direction and speed caused by the rotation around a single point, your shoulder, will create a force opposing the center of rotation, and it can relatively easily be more powerful than gravity. This is also how halo rings work. This is called centrifugal force. And yes, I do hear you back there nitpicking my use of centripetal and centrifugal, but screw you! They're mostly fake names anyway for an amalgamation of other forces anyway, so get off my
I wasn't
back,
even
man.
questioning
I
it,
bring
bro.
all this up because oh boy, a planet bigger than the Earth spinning faster than the Earth is going to create some absolutely nuts
Oh my
forces.
God, it's
The
an ad.
tangential velocity you experience on
Take
the Earth is a little over
cover!
the speed
I'm kidding, I'm gonna watch it.
speeds you'll be experiencing on a Minecraft planet at the equator would be over 88,000 meters per second. That's 10 times faster than the speed of the halo rings. Using this formula, we can figure out the acceleration created by this constant change of velocity, which is, get this, 463.85 meters per second of acceleration due to centrifugal force. Holy
I don't really know
crap.
what that
The
is, but
gravity
that
of the
seems
Minecraft
like
planet is
something big.
32.4
You said
meters
holy
per second
crap.
squared, measured by, falling. This is over 14 Minecraft G's.
I'm literally learning this like right now in school.
Crap. This means that either A, we'd be
So,
flying off the planet's
go
surface
easy on me,
immediately
bro.
at almost, and this is not an exaggeration, 200,000 miles per hour, or the planet is actually massive enough to create enough gravitational pull to counteract the centrifugal force outward and away from the planet's surface. This presents some problems.
Would you just like
32.4
fly into
meters per second
space?
squared of Minecraft's gravity, our Minecraft world would have to be as massive as 23 Earths, which, you know, with it being as big as it is, shouldn't be a surprise. But if it's managing to pull 32.4 meters per second of gravity after the 463.85 meters per second squared of centrifugal force is canceled out, that means it'd have a total gravitational pull of 496.28 meters per second squared over Minecraft G's, meaning it would have to have a mass of 356 Earths. That is bigger than Jupiter. Furthermore, all of this mass is shoved into a space dramatically smaller than Jupiter's. The Minecraft world should have a density of over 100,000 kilograms per cubic meter. That's as dense as the core of the freaking sun, which,
It would just turn into a freaking black hole.
Bedrock is impossible to break outside of creative mode, but if we
It makes
accept this
sense.
as possible, this makes the Minecraft world kind of habitable, if a bit far-fetched with this day-night cycle. Like, if we accept that this clearly impossible planet could actually exist, there's way more to be wary of. Because if all of this is true, it means that there is, in theory, a very small band of habitability around the center of the world. And if you go outside of that, you are toast. Okay, so remember earlier when I said at the equator, you technically
And that's
weigh
why there's
0.34% less
borders.
than you would at the poles. That is because as you travel north, the radius around which you're spinning around the center of the Earth becomes much smaller, meaning your tangential
makes a lot of sense,
velocity
actually.
drops, which means you experience less change of velocity, therefore less centrifugal force. As you can see here, if we drop these numbers down, but it gets even worse. Remember, centrifugal force is experienced perpendicular to the axis of rotation, meaning when you're at the equator, the centrifugal force you experience due to the rotation of the Earth is directly opposite to gravity. But the further north you go, it starts to pull at an angle to gravity. That's because gravity pulls you toward a point at the center of the Earth, but the centrifugal force pulls you away from the axis of rotation, which runs along the entire length of the globe. Meaning the further up you go, not only is the spin getting less strong, it's also less directly opposed to gravity.
Dang.
The centrifugal force drops off exponentially.
I need like 200 more
not
IQ for this
linearly.
video.
If we're only calculating the sums of acceleration at the equator, we can easily just subtract the centrifugal force from gravity. But if we want to calculate it at any other point, we have to use this mess, which does look scary, but it's actually just the Pythagorean theorem. At Minecraft's
That's something I can get
pole,
behind.
centrifugal force falls to 0, and you would experience the full 50 Earth Gs of gravity. Even if we take into account the likelihood that Steve and Alex can survive stronger G forces than us, at around the 10-degree latitude mark, they'd be experiencing over 3 Minecraft Gs, meaning that the average Earthling, instead of weighing around 70 kilos, would weigh 210 kilos or 450 pounds. This is pretty much the limit of what is a habitable zone. This would kind of be like if humans could only live on this narrow strip of Earth or risk being crushed to death by gravity. Kind of amazingly though, since Minecraft is so big, it would actually take you an extremely long time to reach this border. It's over 1,500 kilometers north or south, which traveling at the fastest method in the game means that it'd take over 13 hours of rocket-fueled flight to reach. You can cut this down to a little over 90 minutes to use the nether, but still, that's a long time to travel. You'd likely never get this far in a single game of Minecraft unless you dedicated your entire playtime to traveling directly north or directly south. But aside from this, the storms on the planet would be out of this world.
freaking
The
bet.
rotation of planets is what causes things like hurricanes and things
it'd
like
be
a red
like
spot on
freaking
Jupiter.
Jupiter.
This planet spinning around at 88,000
Like freaking Neptune.
second would create the most destructive storms you have ever seen. And past this 10-degree boundary that's only 3,000 kilometers wide, the world would get really flat. Like gravity would just be too strong for things like hills to stay formed. They'd just get
Everything would just
instantly. You know,
it's impossible. Everything would just look like that one you know, like the islands around the Fortnite map. So if you ever get a picture,
spinning this fast couldn't even hold the shape of a sphere, but you know, that's a story for a different time. So there you have it. We did it! Minecraft is impossible. Who would have thought
Those
that a
meteor
game that's about
showers?
building stuff with square blocks would be unrealistic? This also arguably goes for every other game with a truncated day-night cycle. I think that means that like World of Warcraft and the modern Pokemon games are the only safe places to live. I don't have anything sassy to say or anything to yell about. This was just a really, really fun math problem for me to work.
I mean, I didn't understand most of it, but
it's
pretty cool.
This into a fun exercise in your class. Here is all the formulas I used, albeit rearranged and simplified whenever possible to save my editor.
Oh dear
All of
God.
this is centered around using the arc length to reverse engineer angles and gravity, but you can do all this work with all these tools and these known numbers. Have fun. Sincerely,
Good
Austin.
job, Austin. Dang. That was pretty cool, and I liked that. It made sense sometimes, but also I don't think anyone could live on that planet if it was real. But that was pretty fun and interesting to. It was nice to know what would be happening on the actual Minecraft world. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I will hopefully be able to react to the other ones soon. Sorry again for not talking that much. I'm also tired, and you know how it is with like the game theory videos. My brain's just everywhere. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like it, and subscribe, and